Hey, howdy, howdy, howdy. My name is Barry Coffey. Welcome to the Barry Coffey's journey. I'm real apologize for the last show. I didn't know the mic wasn't hooked up. I made sure everything was working fine. I even had my cousin talk to her on Messenger and yeah, I was going to take a break. Learn some stuff. Sometimes I need some healing too. Learning and teaching. And I got to learn it. I can't teach what I don't know. But what the show was last week is that I was talking about where in the Bible that a lot of people say that God destroys this, God did that. If you actually read the Bible and know the words that were said, I mean, let's go back to Moses, where Moses said, "Do not look at my father's wife; that's his. Do not lie with a man like a woman, and stuff like that." Now we get into where the guys, where the angels were coming down to destroy the city. It wasn't because they were gay, and really they didn't have anything to do with gayism when they wanted to have sex with them. Is they wanted to violate them. It's kind of like to hurt people, like today we call sex offenders. And that was only part of what they were doing, is that the angels were innocent. They couldn't stand that they were innocent. That's why they didn't go for the daughters, because the daughters had sin in their lives, and it's an interrexual sex, and they broke every 10 commandments. They were against the Lord's vein. They were against. I mean, they did everything that was against God's will in that city. And it wasn't that because they were gay. It was because they were everything. They might have been some gays in there, but whatever it was, is because it was against God's will. That was why the city got destroyed. And when Noah, when they flooded the deal, no, the women there, they didn't think they were going to have any men, and they didn't realize men, so they were going to have sex with their father just to have a child. You know, now we're having sex for reasons. It's a lot of it is people use sex to hurt people. It's more like, it's supposed to be enjoyed. It's supposed to be something to excitement with somebody you're in love with. And sex is not love. Sex is a action. Sex is something, a form of deal, a dead. How we use it is what's wrong. It's nothing. And I was raised where it was forbidden. Sex was forbidden. It's only for breeding when you're married. Well, I found out it is not. It is something to enjoy with your wife, your spouse, in a complication of a deal. Now, the fornication is cheating outside the wife. And, there's a question about not being married, and they're not being married in that. And, in the eyes of the Lord, are we married, or are we married by man? Or is it both? That is the question. And we all, and Jesus said, if you think that you've done it, man, I've killed millions of people. I've done everything in that commandment because I fought, and then, the sons, you know, when their father was drunk, one saw the nakedness and they could not bear to see the nakedness, so they covered him, which we have being brought into shame. And it goes back to Adam and Eve when they found out they were naked, they were ashamed. You see, we never had shame, until we ate that fruit. Our eyes were open. You go on through generations of people, meeting people, and we get to the point where we care enough for a person that we want to be there for them. And this is what they mean, I'm in love with this person. It doesn't mean commitment. You don't have to be attached to them. You don't have to be committed to them. It means I love them enough that I will be there until death does us part. You see, I would love and I would care for this person because I love this person, and sex can be a part of that and everything, but it means I will be with them. Then it doesn't say we will be together until we die. It says death does us part. I will care and love this person as long as God has them, gives them to me. You know, I would love this person enough that I will die for this person. That's how much love I have for this one person. You know, and a lot of times, a lot of that stuff gets tricky. I mean, we all get a different meaning out of what we read in the Bible, and you don't hear a lot of people talk about it. It's like, let's don't talk about the sex, relationships, all that. And it's just the deal is, look at Ruth. She lied with Ben because she didn't want to marry that one guy, so she laid with that one guy. And it didn't say in the Bible they had sex in that, but he laid in her bed and they didn't want nothing to do with her. So, uh, and now we can't guess and say that's what happened, you know. And the thing is, we live by the way God wants us to live. In Buddha culture, is that the monks is that they look at the older ladies as their mothers. They look at the ladies their age, their sisters. They look at the younger ladies as their daughters. That's how they keep themselves bonded, you know. And when they do this, it keeps them pure. And me, I don't know if I can do that. And the thing is that the longer we try to judge or we try to erase stuff out, we try to, we miss out a lot of stuff. I go to a lot of hippie campouts, and there's a lot of free spirit where a lot of people could not go in there because you could do everything you want to except pedophile. They're sick. They think because a person out there is naked, they already get it on. Well, that ain't the way it is. A person wants to feel free spirit, feel free to do what they want to do without judgment, without somebody trying to hurt them. The world is so locked up in the stuff that I can't even leave my door unlocked. I was leaving my door unlocked and somebody was stealing stuff out of my garage that I worked hard. I have to lock the door, you know. And that's the way it is in these phony worlds, is that we have to live a certain way to survive. It didn't used to be like that, you know. Back in the days, the only thing that came through your door was the coyotes, and they had coffee with you. And then, but it's a lot of working through a lot of chaos, And there was a lot of things, Look at King David. King David was a sex addict. Yeah, I mean, read his deal. He had women left and right. Got one girl pregnant, killed her own man just to be with her. You know, the baby was born sick and died. You know, but God never did turn his back on him. God never did condemn him. God never did destroy him. But God still used him as a prophet. You know, fornication. He was doing everything. He was a sex addict. If you look at it. Moses was old. Moses, he couldn't even read. Moses, couldn't read and speak. He wasn't even a speaker, so he had his brother Aaron to do the speaking for him. You know, A lot of these people weren't that popular or great, but they were the prophets. God used them, you know. And so think of that when you said God destroyed all this, God destroyed this, God destroyed that. I'm not saying, it's okay, it's not okay. Um, Gay people are human beings. Um, do not, and the reason I brought that up is that don't use the Bible for your hatred. Do not use that Bible to bring it down, hating people, because that's not how it is written. That it was not the way it was intended. You know, it's living and feeling free and being Christ like. You know, even Buddha says in the statement, allow a person to be themselves as long as they don't interfere with you. Let them be angry. Let them be this and that. Don't let them bother you. I don't know why what this person over here does is going to hurt me. But people complain, yeah. So, well, don't look at them. I've been around, I've been up there, I've got friends, I've got a lot of people, and people may live a different life. They may have a different culture. They may deal, but I'm not here to condemn and judge people. That is my great spirit's job. All I'm here is to help, support, and be friends. Anything else, then I'm trying to be God and I'm trying to act on God's term. It's kind of like taking the law in my own hands and doing it because I don't think it's right. Well, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. You know, we live life because we feel it could be a calling. Sometimes people don't realize, back in the 60s, they were actually changing the baby's gender while they were in the womb because people wanted a girl, they got a girl. If they wanted a boy, they got a boy. And then they wondered why the youngin turned out the way they did. And then they passed a law on that. And there's a lot of deals about people born with genetics. Some may be born with the female genetics than the male, which that's why they're more like feminine, where some are born with the male DNA molecules, whatever you call it. Me, I have both male and female genitals. My DNA, I have my mother and father's skin. Whatever one of them had in their genes and that, I get. I think my sister only had one of the parents, But the thing is, I am who I am, and God has made me who I am. So I always say, if you don't like who I am, talk to God. He made me, you know. But it's a lot of deal that we go through life wondering why and all this that we miss out, and people worried about judging people. It's the deal is how I feel, what I do, I keep to myself. It's like people when I became an ordained minister, they want to know what do you think about gay marriage. I said, well, if people do what they want to do, it don't matter if I'm for it or against it or what. It's just it's not me. You know, I'm not going to go marry another guy, but if that's your preference, go for it. You know, it ain't about what I think that person thinks or what that person thinks. It's about do you love that person and do you really want to believe that that's the person you need to question, not the person that's not in it. The person that's in it, ask them how do they feel. You know, it's like my mom told me. When I was with a interracial African American woman, I asked her, and she said, "Don't do it out of spite. Do it because you love her." And I did love her, you know. And it didn't work out because she had her own thing, I didn't have one thing, but we were good. And and that's the thing is, I am going to be with the person I love. And it don't matter what people think, how people look at it, or what they do. How I was taught, that's my business. How you were taught, that's your business. How you live your life, that's your business. How I live my life, that's my business. You can either accept it or go somewhere else, you know, because the deal is the world is going to change. The world has been changing. The world is going to be more open. There's going to be more stuff. And you can either be a part of it or you know, you're on your own, you know. But I get tired of people with the hate and blaming and saying, "Oh, they this, oh that." If there was a God, He'd never done anything for me. Well, He gave you a brain and He gave you a plane. He prayed for you. But the deal is on this deal show now is that I'm going to try to more a spiritual journey, and I just wanted to cover up what I was trying to talk about last time, and I always hate trying to go back and do it because I always mess it up. It's like a one-time deal, but the thing is that don't let things bother you. If it don't feel okay, it may not feel okay. If it feels all right, then it may be all right. What you believe and how you feel will affect you, nobody else. And it ain't about what anybody says. I'm not here to please nobody. I'm not here to. But if I'm with my wife, I will be loyal to her. If I'm single, there's more opportunity. But and the reason why I say it's easy if I was married, then I wouldn't be tempted a lot. Yeah. But because I have a reason, I'm married. But when I'm not married, it's like it's hard because you're lonely. You know. But anyway, anybody have any questions? Feel free to drop in the chat. I'm question times. I'm willing to answer any questions. Uh, okay, get a hold of me. Is my number is 423 540 5774. My P.O. Box is 483 Andrews Johnson, Talbot, Tennessee. And that. And 37877. Give me a letter, send me stuff to talk about, ask questions. Give me some feedbacks down below on the deal. You know, and your feedback's a lot important about how the show's going. Let me know what to talk about. Let me know how. It also lets me know that people are teaching. Like somebody said, this is really good stuff. That makes it me more wanting to do it. So I'll see you all next week. I'll give a few more minutes for questions. Uh, no. Mm. Okay, see y'all next Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. You have a blessed day and let the Spirit guide you. Bye.